We're living in a world that's changing so quickly day by day, and that's partly to do with technology. And because these things are changing so quickly, I want to discuss with you the number one trait that's required for you to become successful. Now, this trait is also needed not just to be successful in one particular thing. I know I talk a lot about female psychology on my channel, but actually, this trait is what's required to succeed in all the panels of human life, especially a man's life. I talk about the three pillars of a man's life a lot, and I will be talking about that a lot when I launch my school group next week. And those three pillars are wealth creation, fitness and body, and dating and relationships. Those are the three major pillars. Let's be honest, those are the three major things you're actually interested in achieving and acquiring in this life. So, what is this one major trait that's really, really required? So, when I think about my father, I think about a man who's getting older in age now, who's fit and healthy, but who's being left behind because all this new technology is flying past him so quickly. He just really doesn't know how to adapt to it. He's completely lost. And he's like, what do I do here? What do I click here? What do I say here? And even actually emotionally, you see, a lot of the men from back in the day, sort of even just 50, 60 years ago, they had this real big ego problem, right? They had this real big ego and pride issue. And, you know, they took masculinity very seriously, and they were obviously very strong masculine men, which is great, which is what we need in today's world, because we've lost those masculine men in today's world. However, back then they were so masculine that they had no real emotional intelligence. They didn't have sympathy. They didn't really care what others thought. They didn't think what others thought when they said something. They didn't have enough empathy and sympathy. They were too hungry. They needed to dominate. They needed to win. They needed to make money. They were like, I don't care what people think. I don't care how people feel. I don't even care how I feel. I'm trying to survive. So that trait that's required in today's day and age to make these people successful, to give these people a beautiful life, is called adaptability. If you are adaptable, if you are able to change and maneuver with the times, then you will actually succeed in today's world. There was one guy who put on one of my YouTube comments the other day, and I said, why young men are struggling so much in 2024. And his response was, and he immediately related it to dating, he said social media and optionality. So what you're basically telling me is, because women have social media and because they got options and because anyone can hit them up at any time, which is absolutely true, by the way, I preach this all the time, that's absolutely true. You're telling me that now it's made your life much more difficult. Fair enough. I'm going to agree with you. That's definitely the case. So instead of sitting there like the rest of society, probably 95% of men who are like, well, this is too difficult now, and I'm not getting any matches, and I can't really get any girls, and all the girls just want like the older guys, and they just want guys with money, and you're going to sit there and make excuses. That's what you're going to do. You're literally going to sit there and make a bunch of excuses about why you can't get a date or you can't get this girl, because all of a sudden all these basketball players and rich dudes and better looking dudes are going to beat you to it. If you're that kind of person that's going to make excuses, you will always lose the game, no matter what game you play. Do you understand that? Do you understand that if you start to make excuses now, then you will always lose the game no matter where you are in the game. Even if you get limb lengthening surgery, even if you become better looking and you look smacks, even if you make money, you will still make those same excuses, because you'll be like, oh, well, I'm getting some girls, but they're not really that hot, and I want the hotter girls, and all the hotter girls are going to the much hotter guys. Always going to be an excuse. So, what will you do in this instance? In the case that social media is making it more difficult for you to date, and optionality is making it more difficult for you to find a good woman because she's got all these different options. How will you survive? How will you thrive? How will you act? How will you adapt to the way the modern society is functioning? That really is your ultimate question. You need to think about how you're going to do that. What special skills are you going to acquire? What are you going to do that the average person doesn't do? That's really the key. You have to act like other people don't act in order to get the results that they can't get. If you're going to be an average dude and you're going to give up like everyone else, then you're not going to get the results. So, thankfully, some of you have come onto this page because you're interested in male self-improvement, because that's what this page is all about. I have been consistently obsessed with male self-improvement since I was a kid. For me, it's constantly about improving, so much so that it blows my damn mind and makes me pissed off all the time, makes me angry. I'm like constantly angry about it. Like, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I win? How do I get better? How do I make more money? How do I adapt to this new world? Okay, now we've got TikTok, this bullshit new platform that I don't even like. I don't like TikTok at all. But I realize that I have to thrive in this new world, right? So although this new world is a disease to our brains, right? It just is. Technology has become a disease to our brains. It's sapping away our attention. It's destroying the way we focus. It's distracting us completely from the goal. And it's just mushing your mind. Apparently, TikTok in China is educational. TikTok in the US is attention-seeking, super quick content, and ultimately garbage, trash, meme, funny content, just to keep your attention for those 2 seconds, to create what I like to call your mishy-moshy TikTok brain, which is just a complete fuzzle like this. So, understanding how it works is the first step. The second step is understanding how you are going to adapt to that. I now need to put out content on TikTok, but I know it can't be heartfelt content like so. It needs to be quick, sharp, snappy, bullshitty, meme, funny type content to see if I can attract that attention and then lure it over to my YouTube, which is more conversational stuff, which is actually more educational stuff, teaching you and nurturing you. So that's an example of how to be adaptable. Another example of adaptability is I've had investments in the stock market for years now, 6-7 years. Then crypto comes along. I can't now avoid crypto. I know that crypto exists, and I know that I'm either going to have to get into the crypto game entirely or at least just dabble on the side and be involved. I'm not going to sit there and watch this crypto market fly while I sit there and watch it, because I realize I have to be adaptable to the modern world. Things are going to change technologically extremely quickly. So now I'm building an AI crypto fund that trades Bitcoin with one of my partners and a Silicon Valley team. So that's something that I'm doing alongside this, actually. That's my main project on the side. I've got my stock investments, which are invested, which are put away, which are doing quite nicely this year because the American stock market is booming, especially the US tech stocks, which is what I bought. Then I have my AI crypto fund, which sits here on the side with my team of technologists. And then I have this, which is my YouTube channel and my brand, Masculine Medicine, which I'm launching next week on School. And I'll be posting the links on all my YouTube videos. I'm super excited to launch that because that's actually giving back to society. That's actually helping you, and that's building a community of strong men. That's the shit I'm actually ultimately interested in, if you really ask me. Am I interested in investments? Kind of. It's just a way to make money. Am I interested in helping other men achieve the goals that they want to achieve? Yes, damn right I am, because that's what I've spent my life bloody doing for my own sake. So now I like discussing it with other men and passing on the wisdom and then passing on their wisdom to me so I can keep learning. This community that I'm building is going to be a group of elite men who are all helping each other, who come from different realms of different businesses that can add value. You've got some of the best gym goers with the best bodies you've ever seen. You've got some of the best people in media and investments who are managing hundreds of millions. You've got people from all these different walks of life, people who are smashing in e-commerce, people who are building crypto funds, people who have crypto funds with millions of dollars, all in that group, all at your disposal. And I will be launching that next week, so I'm super excited to get that blasted out to everyone. I'm super excited to see you all join. So that really is the conclusion to this video. Adaptability is the absolute key. You must be adaptable. You must also hang with people who are adaptable. Don't hang around with old school people. I don't hang around with the people from my school anymore, especially the guys who are just like really backward and talk about old school dumb shit and still go to the pub and drink every night. I can't hang around with them. I've got nothing to talk to them about. Get away from the people who are stuck in the ages, who are like, oh, well, I know I don't use social media because it's just intoxicating. Yeah, but you got to make fucking money, dude. Like, social media is the new wave. Like, influencers are making a shit ton of money. Well, very few of them are. But the point is that you want to be catching these new trends and these new waves and not completely falling for it. You know, not completely being like a social media head and scrolling all day long, because, of course, you're going to be an idiot that way. It's going to consume your mind. So understand how it works, but also think, how can I take advantage of this in my favor? How can I use a lot of this modern technology? Okay, women have all these options. What can I do that's different? Maybe I can walk up to women in a coffee shop and actually say hi. Maybe that way I'll be different to everyone else. Oh, did you not think of that? How are you going to stand out in this difficult society? You know how one guy got a job recently in London? He stood there with a big massive plaque, and he put it above his head, and it literally said, just graduated, really smart and tenacious, would love a job in finance. And he held that up outside Canary Wharf station for the whole day. And guess what? People walked up to him and they were like, yo, this is hilarious, dude. Like, what are you all about? That guy landed a job because he did something that was out of the box and completely different. And he adapted to the modern environment because he knew if he was going to submit an application through Indeed.com or all these other websites, there are thousands of people. He's never going to get found. You have to be different. You have to stand out. You have to do something a little bit outrageous. You have to hold up a bloody plaque above your head saying you're looking for a job and stand outside Wall Street and Canary Wharf. You have to walk up to girls in coffee shops and say hello because you'll be different because everyone else is swiping online. You have to be different. You have to be adaptable in this modern environment. Now, I understand it's a disease. Don't get absolutely trapped in the modern environment. Be an independent thinker. Be able to think for yourself, which is why you've probably got someone like me who is a pure independent thinker. I am by no means trapped in society. I am trying to adapt to it only. That is the number one trait that you need to survive and to thrive in this modern day and age.